Like a good point to talk a bit more about what good actually looks like in practice, because there are four things that we do consistently see kind of working together. The first piece is those encoded standards, things like the INCOSE guide for writing requirements or EARS syntax patterns built into an evaluation layer that every author can work from, not sitting somewhere that people maybe reference occasionally. The second is that objective scoring piece. And importantly, that score will mean the exact same thing, whether you're the most experienced system engineer or someone just 2 months into the job.
Yeah, and that consistency is what makes the score scalable. With a shared objective standard, you can compare quality across teams and programs over time. And I guess that brings us to a third element, milestone readiness signals. So not just are the requirements written, but are they ready? A quantifiable answer to that question, from proposal through delivery. And most Git reviews today, I think, come down to someone making a judgment call about readiness. And that judgment depends on who's in the room, what they've seen before, how much pressure the program may be under. Uh, an objective quality signal removes that variability. The standard is the standard, regardless of who's reviewing it or what the schedule pressure might happen to look like.
And what makes all of that possible is that fourth and final piece, which is continuous evaluation. Not something you do at a particular milestone, but part of the authoring workflow itself. When that feedback loop is tight, issues get caught earlier when they're still cheap to fix.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess together those four things make quality visible at the program level, not just the document level. So, just by way of example, there's a medical device company we work with, managing requirements quality as a corporate standard, across 15 operating units. So, leadership can ask, where are we across every active program and get a consistent, comparable answer. That's a far more encompassing visibility than most organizations have today.
And that visibility changes things at the author level too. When the authors are able to get the real-time feedback as they write, not just at a review meeting a couple weeks down the road, the iteration cycle compresses significantly. And because that standard is consistent, it changes how teams onboard as well. One team we work with put it really well. They said a way to tell a new systems engineer what a good requirement looks like, I think, is essential. That is exactly what encoded standards or an objective scoring can do. Everyone is now working from the same playbook from day one, not dependent on whoever happens to review their work at that time. And also, a bonus, when senior engineers retire, that knowledge doesn't just walk out the door with them. It's in the system, not in their heads.
Yeah, that's requirements quality as infrastructure, not just a writing aid, the foundation that AI on guardrails is built on. Um, And as AI becomes ever more embedded in engineering workflows, requirements level oversight becomes the first layer of organizational defense. Everything else, traceability, compliance, downstream artifact quality depends on getting this layer right.